Discuss the use of fingerprint in medical legal work. Fingerprint, dactylography, dermatoglyphics, Dalton system. A fingerprint means an impression made by the ball of a finger. The fingerprint system is based on the principle that the skin of the balls of the fingers and thumbs is covered with ridges and grooves, the pattern of which varies between individuals and makes absolute identification possible. Important feature of the ridges are they are present from birth, both on the epidermis and dermis. They remain constant for life of the individual and cannot be altered except by destruction of the true skin, and they form patterns. They are absolutely individual. They are not entirely alike, even identical twins. These patterns are classified on the basis of the arrangement of ridges into four main types: loops, whorls, arches, composite, and compound, the loop being the commonest of all. It is accepted that the chances of two fingerprint matching 16 ridge characteristics are indefinitely small. In the world's crime record, no two identical fingerprint patterns have been reported, while in the case of criminals, impression of all the digits of both hands are taken and preserved by the police for future identification. It is customary in India to take usually the left thumb impression of illiterate person advantage of the system. It is applicable to person of all ages. Print can be obtained even from a petrified body. Absolute identification is possible. No specific training or expensive instruments are necessary. The system lends itself to easy classification. Actual point is always available to check any suspected error. The print can be transmitted from one place to another as coded or digitalized message. The development of computerized automated fingerprint identification system now permits a rapid entry, comparison, and identification in minutes to hours as opposed to weeks to months using conventional manual search method. The ridge impressions are due to moistening of the skin by sweat and sebum from the skin gland. At the scene of crimes, they are found on doorknob, furniture, weapons, and other articles unless the criminals worn gloves. Fingers soiled with blood or grease may also leave appropriate impression. If the impressions are faint, the fingerprint can make them visibly by special technique. For example, by the use of dusting powder in a dead body. If the fingerprints are dried up, the print can be taken after soaking the fingers in an alkaline solution for some time. If the skin has peeled off as a result of burns, the putrefaction or drowning, the print can still be recorded either from the dermis or from the peeled off skin hardened by formalin. This one is the fingerprint pattern of arch. The ridges run from one side of the print to the other side, as the name implies. An arch-like fashion, the ridges terminate at the side of the print approximately equal distance from each other. Do not take a backward turn. Next is a fingerprint of a loop. Ridges about the center of the print arrange themselves somewhat in the form of a hairpin. Ends of each point are more or less in downwarding slanting direction. A varying number of ridges group themselves around the central loop portion. There are two fixed points in all pins of the loop type, the delta and the core. They are important because they are used for classification purposes. Next is core. Fingerprint of a whorl. The ridges form a more intricate pattern than in arches and loop. The circular design of the ridge grouping is conspicuous. Ridges may take a clockwise or anti-clockwise line. These are two delta, both which are utilized for classification. Core is indicated for reference purpose but is not used in country system. The practical application of this method include a recognition of chance impression left at a crime scene, identification of the weapon used for committing suicide or homicide, firearm, identification of habitual criminal suicide, deserters, persons suffering from loss of memory, or those dead or unconscious after being involved in an accident. Identification of decomposing or mummified body of unknown person, prevention of impersonation. As an extra precautions on check, bank notes and other legal documents which may bear a fingerprint in addition to manual signature. The ridges of the fingers and hands are studded with minute pores, which are the mouth of the duct of the sweat glands situated below the epidermis. The pores are permanent are different in number, sizes, shape, and arrangement for a given area in each individual. The method is identification by examining the pore is known as a poroscopy Locard method. It is very useful when only a part of fingerprint or a fragmentary portion print is available for examination and identification. Dr. Subramanian, thank you.